Welcome to Chapter 5 of Truth, Justice, and Mysterious Ways, where you're probably asking by now, what's so mysterious about this story? Chapter 5, Coming Home. Margot looked out from the window of her airplane. She enjoyed her 2 weeks in England, visiting her great-uncle Eben and Aunt Sarah, who are her great-grandparents, great-granduncles, aunts or uncles, something like that. You get what I'm talking about. I'm not retaping this. She had done some tourist traveling, but mostly spent time with her family, and went on country drives and enjoyed the quiet of life. She was happy to be moving back home. Yes, she had wanted to continue acting, but music and worship was also her passion. It was great that she had an opportunity to be paid part-time as a worship leader in her home church. She knew that she was going to need to look for some sort of main income as well. She thought maybe she would look to host some karaoke shows just like her dad, like she did when she was living in Stratford. The stewardess gave her a call from the intercom that they were approaching landing, and in a few minutes they were on the ground. The time to get off the plane was soon moving. She felt the joy of getting to see her dad for the first time in months swell up inside of her. Finally, she managed to get off the plane and walked into the area where her dad was waiting with a young man wearing glasses and a suit. Margot ran and jumped into her dad's arms. "Daddy!" Her father wrapped his arms around his baby girl and then placed her back down on the ground. "Welcome home, sweetie. Your mom is at home getting everything ready for tonight." The father turned to Chris to introduce him. "This is Chris Donner. He's our new senior high youth pastor. He was the one I told you about that did such a great job last year for his internship as our assistant youth pastor." Chris suddenly found himself getting butterflies in his stomach. He'd seen pictures of her, but she was more beautiful than she had imagined. On the car ride to the airport, he had rehearsed 24 possible ways to introduce himself, but the words just didn't seem to come out. Instead, he fixed his eyes and he just said, "Hello, I'm Chris." He offered his hand out, businesslike. She took his hand and held it gently, not firmly, then placed her other hand on his shoulder. "Congratulations on the youth pastor job. I'm glad to see someone helping my dad in the ministry." "Miss Margot Reeve, the pleasure is all mine," Chris responded, not intending to sound so formal. "Oh, you can call me Maggie. Margot and Miss Reeves makes me feels like I'm married." She laughed, "Which I'm not yet. Anyways." She laughed again. Chris laughed nervously. He calmed himself down and pointed to her bags. "May I carry that for you?" "Oh, sure, go ahead. Thanks for being such a gentleman." She gave him the 2 carrying bags. Chris then realized that they were heavier than they looked, but smiled anyways. "Woof. Do you want to take one? Do you want me to take one, Chris?" Pastor Joseph asked him, seeing him struggling. No, I think I got it," Chris said, knowing that he was straining himself a little. Joseph and the daughter chattered about her vacation in England, which was a thankful distraction for Chris, who was carrying her heavy travel bags. It was really only a 5-minute walk from the airport terminal to where they were parked. Had felt like an hour to Chris. He breathed a sigh of relief when they got to the car. As Chris finished putting both suitcases in the back, he managed to quickly jump ahead of Maggie and open the door gentlemanlike for her. "Please, take the front seat so you can catch up with your father." "Oh, thanks," she said, taking him up on his offer. Chris sat in the back seat as Maggie smiled and told her dad how she had written some new songs. Her dad told her how much he was looking forward to hearing her sing them. They were worship songs, by the way. Chris found his head analyzing every word that was being said. Should he say something and join the conversation? Or he should just sit quietly and let her enjoy her time with her dad? If he did say something, what would he say? Should he tell her about himself? Or was it too soon to talk about himself? While he was still trying to figure all this out, Maggie turned her head and looked at Chris. "Wow, you're awfully quiet back there. Sorry, I wasn't trying to be rude. How are you enjoying Windsor?" "Oh, I didn't think you were being rude at all, miss. I mean, yes, I like the pace of Windsor. It has a little bit of that city feel, but surprisingly quiet in the building I'm staying in, considering I'm only a couple blocks from downtown. Actually, this is my first time in my own apartment. Last time I was here, I stayed in Rebecca Wells' home in their basement. Rebecca Wells, your secretary. Rebecca and her husband Charles were elder members of the church, along with Rebecca being the church secretary. It must be nice to have your own freedom, isn't it? I'm looking for that one day I'll move out of Dad's place and get my own apartment too. Do you know if they have apartments available at your place? Maggie asked him. The statement caught Chris off guard, and suddenly he found himself tongue-tied. But he knew the answer was no, so he answered, "Well, I think I got the last apartment available in the building. I came only within a couple hours of losing the apartment if I hadn't got my check for first and last ready." "Oh, too bad. We could have been neighbors," Maggie laughed, putting her arm out the window and feeling the warm breeze outside. "Gee, that would have been swell," Chris smiled. She smiled and looked at him as he went from another planet. Chris didn't know if it, but she was just amused by his innocent charm. "Yeah, I'm sure it would have been swell." Joseph dropped his daughter off at his home, which was a small house on Drouillard Avenue in Windsor. His wife, Phyllis Reeve, opened the door and gave her a big hug. She's a beautiful, petite-looking lady with long, dark brown hair. Joseph told his wife, "I'll be home for supper. This afternoon, we're having our meeting for a possible rental of the church." "Okay, sounds good. Oh, hi, Chris. It's good to see you again." His wife waved to him as she went to the trunk and to grab her daughter's suitcases. "Good to see you again, too, Miss Reeve." Chris waved back, sitting in the car seat. "You should bring him over for dinner tonight. We're having homemade pizza, triple pepperoni, triple cheese," she told Joseph. Well, gee, thanks. I would appreciate that," Chris thanked her. "Oh, sure, why not? I'll bring him home for sure, why not?" Joseph said. "I'll bring him home for supper." Well, Chris, why don't you take the front seat again?" "Okay, honey. See you soon." Chris sat in the front seat and closed the door. The car pulled out of the driveway and it headed back to the church. As Joseph started to make the turn for the highway, he turned to Chris and asked, "She's really beautiful, isn't she?" Oh, yes, your wife is wonderful, Joseph. I'm really looking forward to having an old-fashioned family dinner. I love homemade pizza. My dad used to make it for my mom once in a while for me, my mom and I back in Alberta. "No, not her. I mean my daughter, Maggie," Joseph replied, slightly teasing him. Oh, she seems really wonderful too. Super, even. Chris said, not knowing what to say. Joseph just looked at him and laughed. "Yeah, she really is wonderful. She really is wonderful. She really is super." And with that, it's the end of chapter 5. Join us next time as we ask, okay, what is the mystery? Thank you for tuning in to Truth, Justice, and Mysterious Ways. Bye-bye.